Hey everyone, Random Randy here. This is VEDA day 13. The sun is coming out and going away intermittently today. We got out of the house for a few, the boys and I, to grab a few things from the grocery store because it's Easter weekend here in the States. I'm not sure if it's that way everywhere. Very well maybe, I have no idea. But anyway, so we grabbed a few things because I really don't want to have to go shopping this weekend. If it's possible to avoid it at all, I plan to avoid it in entirety. So we got a 12-pound half ham, and with the coupon, it only cost $6. What? Yeah, that was super exciting. Pork is one of the few meats. Pork and chicken are pretty much the only meats that Hunter and Killian will eat, which is kind of frustrating, but I get why they're not really fans of ground beef or steak, because steak is hard to chew, honestly, even if you cook it so it's tender. Unless you cut it on a cross grain, it's still a pain to try to chaw through it. And ground beef, the texture is just funky. I'm personally not even really a big fan of ground beef unless it's in something like a burrito, and even then they'll eat it if you sneak it in. But I try not to be sneaky with food because, you know, if they don't have you around sneaking things into their food when they get older, are they going to know to eat that way? Are they going to know that they need the nutrients from that food if you don't tell them that they need it? Probably not. So, doing better today than I was yesterday. Thank you to anybody who put up with that. I honestly, that little almost 3-minute clip that I posted, I did later in the day. Earlier in the afternoon, I had actually recorded a video that was about 20 minutes long, and there was a lot of ranting and raving and some dissolving into tears that I'm not terribly proud of. So I decided not to post that, but I felt like I still needed to post something, and I just wanted to let everybody know that I wasn't having the best day. And I want anybody to know that it's okay to not have good days sometimes. It's okay to have days where you feel like absolute crap and you accomplish pretty much nothing because you feel like a slug. But don't let those days rule your life. You don't necessarily have to actively try to, just push through it and suck it up and soldier on, blah blah blah, motivational, Shia LaBeouf. Do it! Yeah, no. Nothing that extreme, just you'll get through it. It's hard. Acknowledge that it's hard. Acknowledge that you had a crap day, and all you can do is try and make tomorrow better. That's really all you can do. And even though the boys were up at 4:45 this morning, that's correct, 15 minutes before 5 a.m., my offspring were awake and ready to take on the world. Our coffee maker is set to automatically start percolating at 5:15. My husband is usually up at about 5:30 and out the door before 6 for work. The boys are usually up anytime between 5:45 and 6:45. And this morning they were up an hour earlier than usual. Thankfully, I had gone to bed earlier than I usually do last night. But after I woke up with them, I changed Killian, made sure Hunter went to the bathroom, refilled both of their waters, gave them both a snack, and turned on the TV and took a power nap for about 40 minutes on the couch. It was necessary, and I feel much better for having gotten that extra time to sleep that I would usually have anyway. It keeps raining, and then it'll stop and the sun will come out for a few minutes, but I can still see the way that the trees are moving, so I know that it's just a matter of time before it comes back. I can see how fast the clouds are moving out the window here, and it's gonna rain again in a few minutes, definitely. But yeah, so I did some crocheting last night because I just didn't have the energy to dive back into the sweater, even though I'm just doing stockinette for a few more rows, and I really want to get that sleeve done. Like I said yesterday, my friend's going to be having her baby this weekend. I think she's going to be having her Saturday. And I really want to get this done this weekend to get it out to her so that it can be there like early next week. And judging from how big she's gotten in the belly and the fact that our oldest sons, my son Hunter, who's 4, and her son Brantley, were born on the same day. And we were both ginormously huge, and they were both almost 10-pound kids. I really feel like her daughter's probably going to be almost that big too, even though they're taking her out a few weeks early, so maybe she won't be quite as huge. Sorry, I'm listening to the kids, making sure that they're not hurting each other. There was yelling for a minute. Sometimes they're good with each other, sometimes it's happy screams, other times it's Hunter getting frustrated because Killian doesn't really consider how much time it took for Hunter to build towers and such. Killian, being 2.5, is just a roaming tiny toddler version of Godzilla and likes to knock everything over and kick things, and it's just, oh my god. Sometimes it's cute, but when Hunter's having a bad day and everything that Killian does to be anywhere within like a 5-foot radius of him sends him into a screaming fit, I just wanna walk out of the house and take a few minutes. Every once in a while I'll put on my coat and my shoes and just go sit on the porch, and I know that they're not going to be able to really cause any severe injury to each other or to themselves because I've got the kitchen locked and all the bathroom doors are closed and stuff, so whatever. Gotta do what you gotta do to stay sane, right? Oh my god. Including drinking this delicious tea. Sometimes I'm a tea drinker, sometimes I'm not. Right now, this is pretty good. It's just a vanilla rooibos tea. I really like the flavor of it. I added a teeny bit of honey to it just to sweeten it a little bit, but it's honestly pretty good on its own. I think I'd probably use 2 tea bags with how much water I put in next time. I'm actually working on quitting drinking coffee because I'm tired of it staining the hell out of my teeth and giving me stinky breath no matter how much I brush my teeth. And my husband is usually the one who sets up the coffee maker for the next morning, and if you have anyone who is in the military or works in construction, you will know that the coffee that they make is so strong that you only need 1 cup to get you through the day because you will have the jitters and you will be agitated and aggressive. And it's just too much for my system. I'm very sensitive to it, and I feel like working my way down to black tea is going to be much better for me. Because I've considered quitting it completely, and then I have days like today where the kids are up at 4:45 and I'm like, oh, I don't think I could survive a day like this without that little energy boost. So working on making the switch to black tea. I have a few different kinds now. This is not one of them because it's almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so drinking something caffeinated at this point would be ill-advised, as my insomnia would probably then keep me up until like 2 in the morning instead of my usual 11:30, 12 that I tend to crash. It would not be fun. So the crochet that I did last night is just a mesh open weave headscarf. I think the knot I have in it right now, it would be too hard to put it on my head. So if I get ambitious, I'll pop up a picture of me wearing it because I actually put this up in my Etsy shop today because I have had 2 sales in the past week, which is exciting and gives me a little bit of hope. So it seems like not only is it quickly becoming summery item season, but it is also, I seem to have better luck with ready to ship items, which is good and bad because I don't I don't usually have things made on hand. I always have the materials to make them, and it usually doesn't take me more than 2 days tops to get something made, and that's, you know, working around life and having 2 toddlers and upkeep of a house and everything else that goes along with being a stay-at-home mom who also works kind of ish from home, and I seem to do better with ready to ship items, which means that I'm going to have to dive back into make mode and then just start listing a bunch of things. I need to list the other things I have on hand, which I think I still have like 15 or 16 of those to go. If I can do 2 or 3 listings a day, because for me, a lot of it is copy and paste. I mean, they're like enough items that aside from changing the color and potentially the material or the size, it's pretty much all the same thing. But the hardest part of making Etsy listings is doing SEO or search engine optimization research, which pretty much means going through looking at your item and thinking, if I were a shopper and I were looking for this item, what terms would I punch into the search bar to find it? And then you punch in those search items and see what sorts of things come up. Are they things that are similar to your item? Is your item the only type of its kind in that search category, which can be a good thing and a bad thing? Do you have a few very broad tags so that you get bunched in with things like Etsy also has categories, like it has scarves and hats and tops and shoes and supplies, all of those things, but then it also has a bunch of subcategories now, and it has attributes, which is a new thing that they've added in the last couple of months. Like it has the primary color of your item, secondary color, then it has a holiday that your item could be used for in whatever way, and then also an occasion like bachelorette party, bridal shower, all that crap. So it's a big thing. It's not even that writing up the description is that bad, because all you have to do is describe the item, sound flashy and excited about it, and if you made it, you should be kind of excited about it. I mean, if you made it and you don't really like it, you probably shouldn't be putting it out there to sell. I mean, I'm not a pink person by any stretch, but pink camo? I can roll with pink camo. I'm totally cool with that. I wouldn't wear it personally, but I like the style of it. I like the way it looks, so even though I'm not a fan of the color choice, it's good enough. Hi, little guy. What you got? You got an egg? And you got your Kindle? Oh, you're gonna sit right there behind me? That's fine. Hopefully whatever you're watching isn't loud enough that it's gonna register and get me a copyright ding. But, so on top of that headscarf that I made, I actually started a second one with some of my purple quasi scrap yarn that I have. So what I'm doing is I'm going to make both ends this purple with the silver thread through it, and then I switch over to the Grape Fizz a certain number of rows in. I'm going to do that for a certain number of rows, and then I'm going to use this big old giant Karen 1 pound that's a purple. It's kind of a reddish, it's not quite a maroon, it's like an eggplanty, well, I don't know, like mulberry, maybe, mulberry, boysenberry. It's a reddish purple, it's not really a dark, majestic, royal blue purple. I like it though, I think that it goes well with this purple that's in the Grape Fizz. I think it's all gonna look nice with the sparkles just on the end. So I'm going to be making quite a few of those because they're quick and they're easy, and I think that it's going to go over well this summer. Here's hoping. And I sold one of my tops that I made. It's one of the ones with the black light yarn. I think that I showed it in one of the videos before. I don't know, like I said, I don't know if I'm going to bother popping pictures in here. It seems like an awful lot of work for a VEDA. And I've been talking for a really long time. Can you tell I'm having a slightly better day today because I'm talking? Oh my lord. Isn't he But I wanted to ask all of you guys, do you, when you're shopping on somewhere like Etsy, do you prefer to see the items displayed on an actual person or on a mannequin, or are you indifferent as long as the photos are quasi-professional looking? I do have a kind of studio set up here, and there are obviously some things like the tops that I make that I wouldn't be entirely comfortable showing me wearing yet because, you know, mom bod still. But things like hats, scarves, things here, I think I might just put them on me to show them off because it's so much easier than getting everything set up and getting the mannequin just so. So let me know what you think down in the comments, and that's it for that. But yeah, so rather than continuing to go on and on and on and on and on and on and on, which apparently I'm a motor mouth today, so I'm gonna leave it at this, and I will see all of you guys tomorrow for another VEDA, and I should have a yarn talk going up either Saturday or Sunday. Probably do it Saturday and try to get it uploaded before Sunday. We'll see how that goes because my husband has staff duty again this weekend. He has staff duty Friday. So yeah, tomorrow he's going to work and won't be coming home until Saturday morning. And then he'll be sleeping most of Saturday, so that means the weekend's pretty much shot again. But it pays the bills, so what are you gonna do? Anyway, that's it for me. I will see all of you guys tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching.